If you or someone you know is in crisis, please call the Suicide and Crisis Hotline at 988 or text HOME to 741-741 to speak to a trained mental health counselor.
Cody, move. I have to fix the bed real quick. Come on.
Today, I'm 9 weeks and 5 days pregnant. It's also the first day this week that I've been able to get out of my bed. I really want to thank you for choosing me to be your mom and for giving me such a wonderful pregnancy experience so far. I don't really have any pregnancy symptoms to complain about, so that's not exactly why I've been in bed all week. The truth is, I've struggled with depression and suicidal ideations throughout my life. And I'm ashamed to say it, but this week, it got the best of me. I feel like I've already failed you as your mom for even letting myself have those intrusive thoughts, knowing that you're existing inside of me right now. I've been thinking to myself, more like asking myself, how do I share my story with you? I have always thought that there was beauty and strength within vulnerability. I've never been one to shy away from it myself. It's actually when I feel the most empowered and good about myself was within the moments where I was being vulnerable. But now I'm your mom, and I feel like I'm in a bit of a dilemma. I'm scared to show too much or say too much, because when you look back at these moments one day, I don't ever want you to think that I'm not good enough to be your mom. I want you to be able to smile at me and say that you're proud to call me your mom. I am 9 weeks and 6 days today. My baby is the size of a green olive, and I read somewhere that it's also kind of like the size of a Hershey's Kisses, which I thought was kind of funny and actually sounds kind of good right now. I don't even like chocolate. But yes, I have made another week. We have made it. Oh, congrats. Okay, congratulations. Congratulations. So, will you be patient with me? I know that's a lot to ask for, considering I'm your mom and all. But my hope for is that when you do come around to looking back at these memories that I've shared with you, that you don't find sadness or pain in all of this, but that you find solace.
Mommy, stop cursing. Can you stop? Can you stop cursing? We get it. Mommy, okay, you don't have to keep cursing. It doesn't matter. I don't want to hear stuff like that.
You don't want to keep talking?
No, because this is what I was trying to tell you last week. You're too negative. I get it. I don't want to hear like...
Excuse me, I am negative?
Yeah, because you're cursing and you're saying like, we get... Mommy, like...
Negative, that's... I'm giving you support
And I appreciate it, but I don't want you calling the other person's name. Mommy, if you're sitting here saying this about him, what do you think his family's saying about me right now? Like throwing it in my face about my seizures. Like, you don't know me. Like, why are you talking to me about my seizures? Like, I understand if it was coming from him, but I met you 5 times. Why are you talking about my seizures? That has nothing to do with you. Go read a book. You don't even know anything about seizures. Like. It was condescending. What they said to me was condescending. It's not out of concern, because why are you so concerned about what I'm going to choose to do if you're saying we don't want nothing to do with this kid? This is not part of our family. This isn't our family. So why are you even asking me those questions?
Come home. If you feel that you are alone over there, just come home. Come here with your mom. You don't have to be alone over there. Trying to get the breast every day, every time, every hour. Over here, at least you talk to your mama. Kevin come home, when we are together over here. But over there, you're talking only with your dogs. You get the breast, that's it.
My stepdad was right. I was extremely depressed. I was sad, and because I was sad, I neglected you, my dogs, my responsibilities, and myself. When I was awake, I would just replay October 7th in my head over and over and over again. And when I couldn't make sense of it all, I would just profusely cry for hours at a time. The only time I felt somewhat at peace was when I could cry myself to sleep for a few hours. Because when I was sleeping, I wasn't dreaming of him or whatever happened on October 7th. I was dreaming of little kids that I didn't even know or never met before. And I wondered if I was getting a glimpse as to what you would look like. Or was I making contact with you in some way? Maybe it's my motherly instinct. Maybe he knows me so well, he knew exactly where to cut deep. Maybe I'm being dramatic. Whatever the case may be, it's evil and it's wrong. And even though deep down I know that both things can be true, everything said and done still stung as deeply. I believe now it has to hurt this deeply. There's no bypassing it. Even now, I wish I could forget October 7th. I wish I could erase it from my memory. I wish I could have just one more seizure, just one more, and have amnesia so everything I know and feel up until this point could be erased. That's how badly I want to forget that day. They tried to ruin the day that I got to meet you for the first time, and I will never forget it. And because I can't magically give myself a concussion, the next best thing for me to do is to run away from my problems. I'm a professional at this sport. It's probably my favorite pastime. I think I've always been this way. Whenever something dramatic or a big change happens, I'm ready to flee to a new city, a new state, a new country. You get it. I just don't want to be reminded anymore. So for now, I'm going to the suburbs. I'm going back to my mom's house. And it's actually a full circle moment for me, because I remember when I first moved to California at 22, I wanted so desperately to move out of my mother's house and live on my own. Now, I'm 26, and I'm running right back to her. I have always loved parks. In fact, the first time I met your dad, he took me to a park. I think that was our first date, and from there, it was history. I don't know what it is about parks, but they just make me happy. I feel at ease and calm being surrounded by the nature. I come to this park every Saturday and Sunday with Kobe. I love watching him play and just be free. Up until now, I only knew this as one of my few responsibilities as an adult. I was considered just a dog mom until God decided it was time for me to be your mom. And one day, you'll be sitting here with me. I will be watching you play with Kobe one day. Or maybe me and Kobe will be sitting here watching you play on the playground with your friends. Before you came into my life, I never really thought about being a mom. I never had a desire to be someone's mom or to start my own family one day. I never thought anyone would think of me or look at me and think to themselves that I could be a good mom to someone one day. I never thought anyone would love me enough and trust me enough to start a family with me one day. I just never thought that was meant for me. I just never thought about it. I never thought that this would be a privilege in life as a woman that I would get to have. I thought I wouldn't be able to make a good mom anyways, because I felt like damaged goods. I felt as though I didn't have that type of luck anyways in life. To get happy endings, like starting my own family, it didn't seem realistic. So I made sure to never yearn for it. Last week was really tough for me. Maybe because I know the full story and you don't. You probably never will. And that's the hard part, that I have to think and act like a mom now. Because I am a mom. I'm your mom. And I can't break down and cry all the time like I used to anymore. I keep being told by the people around me, the ones that are concerned about me, that babies feel everything you feel, so it's not good to feel negative emotions during pregnancy. And I don't want you to be a sick baby. I don't want you to feel the things that I am feeling ever. I want you to come into this world as a happy and healthy baby, God willing, so that we can make many memories for the rest of my time that I'm around you, together. I want to do better as your mom this week and for all the weeks to come. I spent one entire week of my pregnancy wishing that I didn't exist. And I hope that one day you can forgive me for that. I hope that I can forgive myself too. Moving forward, I want to spend the next 30 weeks being a happy pregnant woman. That's what I'm striving for.
Okay, so during my last update, I told you guys, I showed you guys my prenatals that I was taking. I'm still taking the same prenatals, but because I was at my mother's house and I actually forgot to bring it with me, so it was such a last minute thing when I went. I forgot to show you that I'm also taking folic acid. So I'm taking 1 milligram of folic acid every day, and it's only once a day that I have to take it. They're very tiny. This is really, really important. So I felt like a piece of crap that week that I was very excited. My mom also takes folic acid actually, because she has an immune disease. She has rheumatoid arthritis, so she takes folic acid. So she was actually giving me her folic acid while I was there to take. Oh. Okay. That's done. This is actually really too sweet for me. I didn't like this.
I'm 10 weeks and 5 days pregnant. You're continuing to give me such an easy pregnancy that I'm starting to feel like I don't deserve this privilege, especially after the week I put you through. So far, I haven't had any depressive episodes. I haven't thought about hurting myself. I'm not struggling as much to get out of bed or spending the day preoccupied with my own thoughts and worries to the point where I am breaking down every other hour. I'm still not completely okay, but I'm trying my best for you. In the same way that I think there's beauty and strength and vulnerability, I believe that this is also true for pain. I have felt various levels of pain at different points in my life. Up until recently, I thought I had been through everything one person could possibly go through in one lifetime. I believed I had experienced every possible form of pain there was, simply because I have spent the better half of my life recovering from the trauma that formed. I'm a survivor of many things. Think of the most traumatic thing that could happen to a child, to a girl, to a woman. I have experienced it. It's not so much of a badge of honor, but my testimony. Each experience and form of pain, I have lived it. Those experiences and forms of pain now live somewhere in my memory, locked away. Those chapters of my life are forever closed. This form of pain, the one I'm experiencing right now, is a bit different. It hurts in a way I can't quite find the words to describe. And even if I could find the right words, I couldn't bring myself to be honest and express them to you. One day, these words will have a much deeper meaning to them. Because I love you so much, and I'm honored to be your mom, I'd rather have anything and everything bad happen to me now, before you arrive, if it means giving you the happiest, painless, best quality of life there is. I'm telling myself that these things are happening to me so that they never happen to you. And I'm okay with that. Is this what it means to be a parent? I don't know. If so, the definition of selfless for me has changed. How could I possibly care and love someone this much that I haven't even met yet? Am I being ridiculous? Do you think I'm being melodramatic right now? I mean, I am only 10 weeks pregnant. I'm so protective of you already because I know how evil the world and the people here can be. So, come into this world when you're ready and kill them with your kindness. In the meantime, I'll keep working on myself and become stronger for you. I'll be here waiting.
I'm at 10 weeks and 5 days. The week is almost over, and that means I will be starting week 11 pretty soon. Can I just say that week 9 was like probably one of the darkest moments I've had in all of my life. I've been through a lot of like dark moments in my life, like in different chapters in my life. So, I never thought that at almost 27 years old, pretty soon, I was gonna have a dark moment like this since my last, which wasn't since I was like a teenager. So week 9 was, I feel like I was being tested. I was like spiraling. I had a very dark, depressive episode last week. And I just want to say a big thanks to like my mom, my sister, my therapist, and the mental health practitioners that I was in touch with during my crisis last week, because I had ideations, I had my plan, I was just ready. I was ready to go. And even feeling like that last week, I felt like the worst mother in the world already. The fact that I even felt like that, knowing that I have like a baby growing inside of me, it made me feel like even worse that I'm even like having these thoughts. But last week, like there was like two major things that were like weighing really heavy on me. And I'll preface this by saying that, you know, I'm happy about this pregnancy. Since the moment I found out, I feel very lucky. And like I've mentioned before, I feel like it's a privilege to be anyone's mother or have the opportunity, and I don't take it for granted. I don't take it lightly. So this means so much to me that, you know, God thought that it was time for me to be a mom. I do believe that everything does happen for a reason. And, you know, last week, I've always been such like a people pleaser, and I want to make everyone else happy. And I've always been that way since I was a kid. And it has put me in a lot of uncomfortable situations in the past. And so, you know, now I'm an adult pretty much, and I'm in a new chapter in my life. And so, you know, you get placed in this circumstance that I'm in. Not everyone is happy about this pregnancy. People have wished death on me, death on the baby, like said some of the most disgusting things that you could imagine about an unborn child to my face, about their own, you know, flesh and blood. So it was like weighing really heavy on me last week that in this circumstance, regardless what path I choose, whether to continue my pregnancy happy, whether it's alone, with someone, with no one, with a village, with no village, or do I choose to terminate to appease the other half of the equation? And I didn't know what the right or wrong answer was last week, and it was like a question I was playing around with in my head continuously, where I wasn't sleeping. I was hysterically crying at all times. I couldn't focus on my workload. Didn't study at all last week. So, you know, it was really taking a toll on me emotionally, this concept in my head. And I couldn't shake it off. I kept telling myself, no, but you're happy about this, so that's all that matters. But it wasn't enough in my head last week. You know, last week it felt almost like, how can this be something I'm happy about when I'm ruining other people's lives? And that's all I kept thinking about. I thought about all the things that have been said to me, about what kind of mother I will be, about, people weaponizing things they know about me personally, saying things about an unborn child, deducing them to a statistic, and it hurt. And I'm like, are they right? Am I all those things? Is my baby gonna be all those things? That's like, it didn't, like, how could these people be saying this? You know, forget about what they're saying about me for a second. It was mostly like what they were already determining an unborn child. Like, they were already like, so because of all that, I was like wanting to bang my head in at one point, because what do? Do I make all these other people happy and terminate? And do I risk my own mental health? I know I'm not gonna bounce back from this. Like, I know people have unexpected pregnancies and they terminate, and they wake up the next day as if nothing happened. I am not one of those people. I am an emotionally driven people. I rely on my emotions almost like an instinct. And that could be a good or bad thing, but I know that my conscience would weigh heavy for a long time. And I thought about it. I'm like, yes, for them, they can wipe their hands clean and, you know, continue living the life that they want to have. Me, on the other hand, what's gonna happen to me? I feel like I'm gonna like lose the last bit of marbles I have keeping me going in life, and I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna emotionally lose it. And so like I couldn't like just like I just didn't know what to do. And then like the second thing was the decision. At the end of the day, it's on me. And whatever, just like going through with this decision that I've decided to do, like continuing this pregnancy, it's going to affect a lot of people's lives, unfortunately, for them. And so I hate having that responsibility on me, because I don't want someone hating me, praying for my downfall, praying for the worst for me and my baby, because they just hate me. Like, you know, taking like you know, I was threatened already about things later down the line. I've already heard someone speak ill on their own flesh and blood to my face, speak ill on me. And it's like, say whatever you want about me, but to like say the things that I heard, it's just evil, the things that I heard said about my baby. And they're not even here yet. To deduce my baby to like a statistic, like, are you serious? Like I said before, in my 8-week pregnancy video, like I've done good for myself, by myself, for myself. Like, I doubt my baby is gonna turn out to be the R word, or they're gonna turn out to be a murderer. Those are the things that were said to me, and it hurt. And like, yes, I'm ready to be a single parent. I don't want that evil energy around me. Like, it felt like when I heard this being told to me, it felt almost as like, dude, your family's at home doing brujeria at this point, because there's no way in hell that you could sit here with a straight face and like say this about an unborn child, about like your own flesh and blood. And it hurt to fucking hear it. Like, it really fucking hurt, because they don't, like, baby doesn't deserve that. And so I was just like, they're never gonna stop hating me, and they're gonna like purposely do whatever they can to mess up this baby's quality of life out of spite because of me. And I prayed, and I still pray every night, that they could put their differences aside and we can, you know, just love this baby, because it does deserve the best life that it could be given. And I know it can have the best life. I had the best life growing up with my dad. I had the best life growing up with my mom. They've been divorced my whole life. And I spent time with them both separately at different points in my life. And I didn't turn out to be a D-gen, because that's what it was kind of feeling like. I was being told, like, your kid's gonna be a D-gen. Even if you raise it alone, it don't matter. And it was just like, it was a lot. And so all of those things that I was told the last couple of weeks was like replaying in my head last week. And it like, you could say whatever you want about me, whatever, because I know I'm not none of those things. But again, like an unborn child, your own flesh and blood, like, why would you ever think saying things like that out loud would be okay? Like, it just says more about you than it says about anything else. And then the fact that everyone on that side of the equation, they're doubling down, and they're putting their foot down, and, you know, we stand by what was said, and we are in support of that behavior and that thought process. Like, I was just like, okay, maybe it's better if you're not involved, because like, that is not a very Christian way of living. Let me put it like that. And so last week I was like, people won't hate me and people won't hate an unborn baby if me and baby don't exist. And there's no way you're gonna get me to terminate this baby, like willingly by me. So the best next thing is for me to go, because that's the only other way baby's gonna go, is if I go, baby goes. And I had my plan and I was ready to commit to it, because that's how real all these thoughts in my head, like that's how real they are. Like I genuinely feel things like deeply, and I have a conscience, and like dude, like things will keep me up at night. I always want to do right by people, even if they don't do right by me. Like I've always been that type of person. And last week I was like, maybe it's better if I don't exist and baby never exists, and you know, everyone can have their fairy tale life and, you know, live the life that they want to live. And I had a conversation with my sister towards, you know, the end of the week, and she's 21, by the way. So, you know, it's crazy that when my sister said it, it kind of like clicked, because my sister told me when I was telling her, I'm a very honest person. Like I'm like, if you ask me, I'm very open about like what goes on in my head and with my emotions, and the only thing I try to do is convey it in like the healthiest way possible. So when I was telling my sister this, like we had like a long phone call conversation, because I wasn't picking up anyone's phone calls. I completely isolated. That's very much a Priscilla thing, and I've always done that as far back as I can remember. So I think towards the end of the week, my mom basically asked my sister to call me. So my sister's 21, she's at UCI, like she's like a college girl, like, you know, typical college girl. So it's crazy that it stuck when she said it, but I'm here working on my 4th degree, and it wasn't like, I couldn't even rationalize with myself last week. And she said to me, like, why would you end your own life and the life of an unborn child? Because that's exactly what they want. They want you out of the picture. So why would you give them what they want? You are, you know, she was telling me like, I'm none of those things that they said. And you know, the fact that they said half of the things that came out of their mouth, like, you know, like they're going to hell for that. And I honestly do believe, like, I'm not even religious, but if you guys would have heard what was told to my face that day, you would have been like, what the, you, like, it was like, you think you know somebody, and then they just like make you, then you just, like, it's kind of like, it was kind of like one of those ones, like, I knew you were a piece of shit, but I was hoping you would prove me wrong. It was like one of those situations. So like, my sister was like, no, like, why would you do that? Like, you are capable of being a good mom. You will be a good mom. Like, you have like us, like I have my mom and my sister. She's like, don't give them what they want. You know, I know it's hard, but don't do it. You've given them more than enough of grace. And that's my problem. I give people way too much grace. And so, you know, I was telling her all the things that I was worried about, like how I got threatened with, you know, because these people know a lot of my, you know, like personal life. This is someone I was with for years. You know, they know a lot that I had been going through, and like I've even like verbalized that to my therapist. Like, I'm scared to tell you too much, because I feel like if I tell you too much, like when I later down the line, like if they go through what they say they're gonna go through with, like I'm scared that this is gonna be used against me, when all I want to do is get emotionally and mentally healthy for when baby does come. That's all I want. That's all I want, even up until this moment. I just want my baby to have the best quality of life that I know it can have by everyone, for everyone. So yeah, last week I wanted to end my own life. But of course I didn't. I'm still here. I'm talking to you guys.
I have contemplated whether I should share the last 2 weeks of my pregnancy with you, or with anyone for that matter. I'm scared that this too will be used against me in the future, that my honesty will be weaponized and used against me. But this is my truth. This is my story. I'm choosing to share these moments with you. I always knew my purpose in life was to be of service to others. I have always felt the happiest when helping others at whatever capacity. I never had big dreams or aspirations of anything larger than this. I am sharing my pregnancy journey, the good and the bad. I'm sharing this with anyone who is on the same journey as me. Although our stories may not be the same, I hope these moments help you feel less alone. If you or someone you know is in crisis, please call the Suicide and Crisis Hotline at 988 or text HOME to 741-741 to speak to a trained mental health counselor.